Welcome to our Matisse inspired punch needle workshop. In your kit you will have your embroidery hoop, your fabric, a selection of wool, your punch needle, which looks a bit like this. This here is your punch needle threader, which is a kind of small piece of wire, and a tube of glue. You'll also need some scissors, some pens, and your templates. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set up my embroidery hoop with the fabric. So take your embroidery hoop and unscrew this little screw at the top here and pop out that middle hoop. Then we're going to put the hoop with the screw flat on the table, put your fabric on top, so you've got an even amount of fabric all the way around, so make sure it's kind of in the middle. That's okay. And then we're going to pop this hoop back into the middle. See, that looks quite good. Now we just want to make sure it's as tight as it can possibly go, so I'm going to tighten up the screw a little bit and just work my way around, pulling quite carefully the fabric until it's as tight as like a tambourine skin. We want it kind of as tight as it'll possibly go. No wrinkles, no dips, nothing like that. So now a wee top tip for you here is if you're finding your fabric's fraying an awful lot, don't worry too much for a start, but if you like, you can add some masking tape around your raw edges and that will just stop them from fraying. But if you don't have any masking tape, then don't worry. Okay, so that feels okay. I'm just going to finally tighten that screw up as far as it'll go, and then we're ready to transfer our design. So on your instruction sheet you'll see there's lots of different templates and lots of different design ideas for you, but you can feel free to design your own as well. But if you are choosing one from the instruction sheet, then cut out the templates that you want to use so they're separate, and then lay them on top of your embroidery hoop and kind of play about with the design until you're happy with it. Make sure that you place your design so that the screw is at the top, so that is your top, because that's where we'll hang it from when it's on the wall. So if that affects your design, take that into consideration. And then we're going to draw around our design pieces here. I'm going to use purple for my purple piece and blue for my blue, just so I remember which wool colours I'm using, but you don't have to do that if you'll remember. So I think that's probably kind of in the right place, and I'm just going to start by drawing around it. Okay, so I've done my purple there. I'm going to go for my blue one as well, so I'm just going to place that under kind of where I think it should be, somewhere like that maybe. And then I'll draw around that as well. Great, so that is our design ready to go. So now we need to pick whichever colour you're starting with. I'm going to start with the bigger shape first, so purple, and let's thread our punch needle. So the best way to thread our punch needle is by using this piece of wire here. So it's got a bent over top like this, and it's got kind of two free edges at the bottom here. And what we're going to do is we're going to thread this bent top through the kind of metal bits, starting at the metal side of the punch needle and through all the way down to the bottom. So kind of roll, pops out there. And then take your wool, whatever colour you're starting on. I'm starting with purple. And it's almost like a needle, so I'm just going to thread my wool through that piece of metal there. You can squidge it if you want it to kind of be a bit more secure. And then you grab these pieces at the top here and pull. The wool should go all the way through to the top. So then you can take it off the wire, put that to the side, and the last thing we need to do is thread the wool through this hole here you can see. So normally I just do it with my fingers. I just pop it through, you can see the back, and you just pull it. There we go. Shouldn't be too difficult. And that is your punch needle ready to go. The first thing to remember when punch needling is you need a lot of slack on your wool. So pull off a couple of meters of wool off of the ball of wool and kind of have that just to the side, so there's no resistance when we're doing our punch needle. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start by tracing around this outside line, making sure I'm going over the pen all the time, and then we'll fill in the centre after. So this corner here seems like a good place to start. So what I'm going to do is I'm literally going to go to the corner and pop a pointed needle through the canvas, right through to the back. There we go, you can see that on the back there. And just to get my kind of tail through, see this bit on the back here? I'm just going to pull that, and that's the, you can see that's going to go through it. There we go. And now that is on the back. Perfect. So I'm going to go round this way. So if I bring my punch needle out, and what I want is the kind of open side of the punch needle facing front at all times, facing the direction you're going. So I don't have it like that way, I'm going to have it this way. And then I'm just going to do a couple of millimeters and punch right through to the wood. So you're going right down each time. And then out again, and then through until it stops, out, a few millimeters through, and then you're carrying on all the way around. So it's quite good, the wood will stop at each time and you'll get an even kind of stitch, and you don't have to worry about that. Just make sure you're going right down to this wooden handle each time you punch. That's what the back looks like. So kind of free on the back there, but as you kind of do more and more of your pattern, it all kind of gets wedged together and it's okay. If you don't have enough slack on your wool, it ends up just pulling out like this, which is sometimes quite good as well. If you make a mistake, it's very easy to just pop it out, pull the wool right down, so your punch needle's right at the fabric again, and you can just go again. I'm going to twist my canvas as I go, and just as I say, make sure that you've always got that kind of open side of the needle facing forward. So I've done my outline, and now we need to concentrate on filling in the centre pieces. Now there's no real prescribed way of doing this. You can't really go all the way around each time because these bits are a wee bit thin. So normally what I do is kind of start filling up a leaf, kind of go down to the next one, fill up a leaf, go around to the next one, and I'm kind of doing kind of like concentric circles in a sense, but just whatever looks good to you. You can go up and down, you can go side to side, it's absolutely up to you. But yeah, let's get on with filling in the centre, making sure there's loads of slack on our wool, and let's go. So once you've finished filling in all your centre, what you need to do is, on your last stitch, leave the punch needle in the fabric, flip it over, and then on the inside, on the kind of open side of the punch needle, if you just take that piece of wool, get it with your fingernail, and just pull a few centimetres, so and it should pull quite easily, and it's coming from in here, and then I'm just going to snip that, like that. I'm going to unhook that piece of wool from there, and then pull it out. Now that seems a bit complicated, but trial and error, you'll know what you're doing as you do it. If things start to pull out or stitches start to come out the front, you'll know to go back through and pull the other piece of wool. But I'll show you again when I finish off my blue section, which I'm going to start now. So I'm just going to rethread my punch needle and do exactly the same, but on my blue circle section here. So I'm just getting lots of slack on my blue wool, and just as before, I'm going to start by putting my punch needle into the fabric, flipping it over and pulling that tail through to the back, so it's on the back now. And then I'm just going to start my outline, just the same as before, all the way up. See, there's a wee example of what happens if you don't have enough slack, it just doesn't work. So keep going. There we go. And we're off. So I've finished off my blue section, so I'll just quickly show you again how to finish off your punch needle. So you leave the last stitch, you leave the punch needle in the fabric, and then flip it over. So there's my wee needle there. And then on the open side, just get your fingernail in there and grab the wool, pull it through. So you've just got a kind of piece like this. Snip it. And then on the back of the punch needle, pull it through out the hole, and then pull that out. And that is the back all perfect. So you see the back looks a bit like this, quite fun, and the front is a bit more streamlined. You could do designs where you switch it around and have a bit more of the padded side, up to you. So the next thing I'm going to do is show you how to finish this off, make it look all beautiful and ready to hang on the wall. At the moment it's all a bit frayed, and we need to tidy all this up. So I'm going to start by just snipping off my tails on the back. get rid of them. And then I'm going to cut around my hoop. I'm going to leave 1 centimetre all the way around. Now if you've got some major fraying on the go, don't worry too much, it's okay, just as long as you leave about 1 centimetre. Okay, so my design now looks a bit like this. I've made sure it's all tight before I've cut it, and it looks a bit like this. And I'm going to grab my multi-purpose glue, and around this top here of the ring, I'm going to pop on a little bit of glue all the way around. Okay. And then I'm just going to start holding my fabric onto the glue and hold it for a few seconds until it sticks. So you might need to kind of hold it for a few minutes. I'm just working my way around really, just holding. Oops, don't dunk your hand in it like I just did there. So once that's fully set, you can just flip it over. And that is ready to be displayed proudly on the wall, along with lots of other punch needle art, which I'm sure you're going to make. If you've enjoyed this, please share pictures of your finished projects. We are at the Edinburgh Craft Club on Facebook and Instagram.